Ash Ketchum kickstarts his Hoenn Gym challenge by setting his sights on the Petalburg gym. But after May leaves him saying she's got to take care of a few things first, Ash enters the gym alone. And with a moderate voice, he asks the air if anybody's here. And that's when this kid in glasses and green shirt shows up, a bit irritated, telling Ash to keep it down because he's in the middle of watching a video of the Silver Conference. But as soon as he sees Ash, he instantly recognizes him as the guy who lost to Harrison in the second round. Emphasis on loss.
I told you it was the second round in the victory tournament, kid! Don't you get it? That takes an awesome trainer!
The kid excitedly recollects Ash's battle with Harrison and how he's on the edge of his seat watching the nail-biting final between Charizard and Blaziken. Then he proceeds to criticize Ash, saying that he's still got a long way to go and that if he's in Ash's position, he would have won. Ash has had enough of him, demanding to see the gym leader, but the kid introduces himself as the gym leader. Ash doesn't bite at first, but he just goes along with it. Normally, gym leaders are expected to show their Pokemon first before the challenger shows theirs, but this kid insists that Ash sends out his Pokemon first. This sparks an argument between the two until May shows outside the window.
Hi there, sis.
Your sister!
Turns out this kid is May's little brother. His name is Max, the youngest child of Caroline and Norman, the actual Petalburg gym leader.
Whatever.
And you're not really the gym leader, are you?
Of course I'm not silly. Can't you see I'm just a kid?
Max then excitedly asks to see which Pokemon May got from Professor Birch. As a huge Trico fan, Max is disappointed to learn that she chose Torchic.
Torchic, stop that right now!
Look at Ash gloating at the sight of this. Max is a huge fan of Pokemon, but he's still young, so he can't have a Pokemon just yet. Still though, he really wants to have a Trico one day.
Ash, why don't you join us for lunch? You must be starved.
Thanks.
Over lunch, Max expresses his dream of traveling to different places with his friends. Norman then invites Ash to have an unofficial gym battle with him, since Ash only has one Pokemon right now. Watching from the sidelines, Max is definitely Team Dad, but we can see that he's totally enjoying the sight of this battle. Norman quite easily wins, then Team Rocket shortly invades the gym afterwards and steals May's Torchic. During this time, Max gets his first official ceremonial baptism of Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Then on their way to save Torchic, we learn more about Max's personality, how he likes to play detective, and even fake cries to get what he wants, which doesn't fool May one bit.
Max, don't cry. He's just faking it.
Well, sooner or later that fake crying stuff was bound to get old.
Yeah, Max is undoubtedly a know-it-all brat at this point, but he's also a young hero, because when Ash and Norman distract Team Rocket, he bravely swoops in and retrieves Torchic from its cage. Team Rocket is soon dealt with, and throughout the journey, he gets to see how a Pokemon trainer bonds with their Pokemon. Then when Ash and May are about to leave, Max invites himself to the party. Norman supports this, saying that Max does know a lot about Pokemon, so he'll be a big help for them at some point. Or maybe he just doesn't want to deal with this kid anymore, but who knows.
And a lot less worry for me.
Ash and May happily welcome back to their group, and before leaving, his dad gives them a Pokénav, a very convenient tool for them to navigate throughout their journey. Ash, May, and Max now make their way to Rustboro City, but little does Max know that this party of 3 is soon gonna have another member. Because when Max, May, and Ash are getting attacked by a flock of Taillow one afternoon, a guy with the fortress saves the day. It's Brock, Ash's old friend whom Max is super excited to meet after hearing stories about him from Ash, plus knowing he's a gym leader just like their dad. Together, Brock, May, and Ash will all serve significant figures for Max's growth and development throughout the series. Throughout their adventures, Max serves as their main navigator, having possessed the Pokénav. He's also someone who adds more insights during Ash and May's battles, in addition to Brock. One day, May and Torchic lose a battle against a trainer named Nikolai and his Mudkip. Nikolai's easy win makes him drop a cocky comment that the Petalburg gym must be a piece of cake, and this only angers Max. So knowing that Nikolai wants to catch a Zigzagoon, Max goes off alone and gathers these berries to attract all the Zigzagoon in the forest and away from Nikolai. But then he now finds himself surrounded by a plethora of them. Good thing his friends are there to save him, but now the Zigzagoon are mad after getting attacked by Pikachu's Thunderbolt, so not all 4 of them are surrounded. Thankfully, Nikolai arrives just in time to distract the Zigzagoon and save them from potential danger. This act of kindness earns Max's respect, so he apologizes for what he did, to which Nikolai also responds with his own apology. Nikolai's ability to speak in Zigzagoon language only fascinates Max, so he begins asking questions and ending the day with a new knowledge and information about Pokemon. Max knows a lot there is to know about Pokemon, especially their statistics like their height and weight, but there's nothing like actually interacting with Pokemon. In one of their adventures, the gang stumbles upon Katrina and her 3 Mightyena and 1 Poochyena. Max is excited about the idea of seeing a Pokemon evolve, so he does his best to help Poochyena evolve. Ash tells him that Pokemon evolve by battling, and it usually takes a while before they evolve, but Max is adamant on his goal, so he borrows May's Torchic and uses it as their opponent, except it just burns both of them. Max then asks for all of Ash's Pokemon to be their opponents, but Max stops him, knowing that he'll only make them lose on purpose, so Poochyena will evolve. Ash points out that it won't mean to Poochyena if it evolves in a battle that was faked from the start. Besides, some Pokemon may choose to not evolve at all, like Pikachu. But soon, Team Rocket shows up, capturing Poochyena in a net. As he's chasing after them, Max tells Poochyena to use Bite on the net and that he believes in it. And with all the courage that it has, Poochyena lets out a powerful bite, destroying the net, rescuing itself and other Pokemon. It happily greets its friend Max, and it's resting on Max's hands. Poochyena evolves into Mightyena, finally fulfilling Max's dream of helping a friend and first-hand witnessing a Pokemon evolve. Not long after, our heroes finally reach Rustboro City for Ash's first Hoenn badge. But before that, Max finds a lost Poliwag who turns out to belong to one of the students of Gym Leader Roxanne. Max shows a lot of interest in this visit to Roxanne's Pokemon Academy, so Roxanne invites him there, especially since the gym is just right next door. They make their way to Roxanne's beginner class, where they're surprised to see Professor Oak giving the students a lecture via video call. This is where we know that Max is actually a huge fan of Professor Oak. Max has read all his books, watches him on TV, and even listens to his radio show. Not knowing that Max is a fan of the professor, a student named Tommy tauntingly challenges his intelligence by asking a number of questions related to Pokemon battling, which Max answers easily. Max is then invited to join their class the next day, so he excitedly wakes up the next day and enters the class with his thirst of learning. At school, he gets to know some of the Academy's Pokemon, as well as his classmates like Anita, who is disinterested in Pokemon. But during the day, his unfriendly rivalry with Tommy ignites further when Tommy sabotages Max's moment with Kenny, where Max helps Kenny overcome his fear of Pokemon.
Huh? Loser.
Later that day, the students engage in a Pokemon battle, and of course, Max is matched up against Tommy. It's Max's Poliwag versus Tommy's Magby. Max may be smart and have the type advantage, but Tommy seems to know what he's doing. Max is focusing on boosting Poliwag's defense, giving Tommy the upper hand in the beginning. However, the battle gets interrupted by Team Rocket, so what happens next is Kenny hatches a plan to have Max and Poliwag distract Team Rocket as Tommy and Magby go on the offense with Flamethrower, while Anita and Pidgey swoop to the rescue to get the stolen Pokemon. With Team Rocket blasted off, Max and Tommy compliment each other on a job well done, and their hostile rivalry has flamed out after showcasing wonderful teamwork. In addition, this battle allows Anita to gain interest in studying Pokemon, so we can see that Max has truly made a positive impact in Roxanne's Pokemon Academy. Just as the gang plans to leave Rustboro, Max accidentally spills his drink on the Pokénav, which means their main device for navigation is out of service. Max is scared to tell his friends, so he wanders off around the city alone. That is, until he stumbles across this man who turns out to be Joseph Stone, the president of the Devon Corporation. Mr. Stone takes Max inside the corporation headquarters and has his workers fix the Pokénav for Max. In addition, he even tours Max around the building, showing him all the cool technology they have. Of course, as a tech nerd, Max enjoys all of these things. And when an intruder steals these things called creation fluid vials from the headquarters, it's Max who catches it just in time when all hell breaks loose. With the Pokénav finally fixed, our heroes continue on with their adventures. One day, Max notices that May's always been training Beautifly for a contest, so he feels bad for Torchic always being left out, thinking May is playing favorites. But Ash and Brock disagree, saying that one's first Pokemon will always be special to a trainer. They even share their experiences on the days they met their first Pokemon. This makes Max contemplate on the day he'll finally meet his first Pokemon. He initially wanted a Trico, but now he seems to be unsure. And in the end, Max shouts to the sea, wherever his first Pokemon may be, that he'll be waiting for it. Not long after, Max and May meet Ash and Brock's old friend Misty. Now, Misty and Max's relationship is an interesting one. They're both the youngest child in a family that runs a gym. And every time Max and Misty meet each other, there's always something that Max learns from Misty. In this Togepi Mirage encounter, Max firsthand witnesses Misty's ear pull of Brock whenever he flirts with a pretty girl. So ever since then, Max has rightfully succeeded in Misty's role of pulling Brock's ear every time he hits on someone. Now, Brock isn't the only one who has a crush, Max does too, because when our heroes are rescued by the Windstray family from burning up, their daughter Vivi hands Max some water and tells him that she thinks he's cute. This makes Max develop a crush on her. And just before they leave, our heroes insist they repay their family for the act of kindness, so the Windstrays challenge them all in a series of 1v1 battles. Victor defeats Brock, then May defeats Victoria. Third, it's Max versus Vivi. They promise each other to have a good fight, and that no matter what, they'll still be friends afterwards. Max borrows Ash's Corphish to battle Vivi's Meryl. At first, Max is distracted by his crush on Vivi, but when he comes back to his senses, he gives a sense of instructions to Corphish, which it kind of ignores, so Corphish aggressively attacks Meryl and takes it out with a single move. Vivi feels humiliated by this and yells at Max to go away and that she hates him. This breaks Max's heart into pieces.
Oh, poor Max. I guess Corphish chopped his heart in two with its pincer.
But I guess a silver lining to this is Max wins his very first battle, so that's definitely a milestone for him. Soon after, something totally unexpected comes, as one afternoon in this Pokemon Center, this kid shows up. It's Max's doppelganger, and his name is also Max. They even have very similar opening lines.
Can you please keep it down? Hey! Keep it down, will ya?
But this Max is a total jerk. Yes, even more so than our Max, believe it or not. Big Max hated Little Max from the very beginning, probably because he's jealous that Little Max is playing with a Pokemon. Now, Nurse Joy notes that Big Max is someone who really loves Pokemon just like our Little Max, so today's mission is to make both Maxes make up. They soon meet each other in the lake as both Maxes are fascinated by Big Max's Surskit, but Big Max slaps Little Max's hand, preventing him from touching Surskit. This only escalates their fight even further, but then Brock proposes that they just bring out their Pokemon so they can play together. This is initially a great idea as both Maxes start to bond over their love of Pokemon, but when Team Rocket sabotages their day, Big Max's Surskit runs away, so our heroes lend them a helping hand. Team Rocket manages to blast them off into two separate groups, so now May and the two Maxes are stuck together. During this time, the two Maxes spend some quality time together, even learning more about each other. Turns out Big Max isn't actually a Pokemon trainer yet, and he admits that he's indeed jealous that Little Max gets to travel with all these awesome trainers. But Little Max also admits that he's jealous of him for having a Surskit who he loves dearly. This shared feeling of jealousy only generates laughter from the both of them. And good thing Big Max knows this forest like the back of his head, so they soon find Surskit and work together to defeat Team Rocket. In the end, Max and Max become great friends, declaring they make a good team. Big Max tells Little Max that someday they're gonna travel too, and when they meet, they for sure are gonna have a battle. And Little Max tells him that someday he's gonna find his own favorite Pokemon just as he found his Surskit. So the journey for Max to find his beloved Pokemon has begun. But before that, Max is bound to return home, because Ash is now ready to challenge Norman in the Petalburg gym. After spending the afternoon heralded by Norman fans and getting personated by Wobbuffet, Max and friends finally reach Petalburg City. Max is totally excited to see his parents. He gives Caroline a warm hug, but Norman isn't around. Actually, Caroline is in a state of serene rage because lately Norman's been at the Pokemon Center spending a disproportionate amount of time with Nurse Joy. She's convinced her husband is being unfaithful. But even after seeing Norman and Nurse Joy share a fun time at the Pokemon Center, Max still doesn't believe his dad would do something like this. Then when Caroline storms in, threatening to leave, it is Max who tells everyone to shut up, give Norman the benefit of the doubt, and let him explain himself. Because to Max, Norman is his hero, and the best gym leader in the whole world. And as it turns out, Max was right all along. All this time, Norman's meetings with Nurse Joy were all to plan his special wedding anniversary gift for Caroline. So at the end of the night, Norman and Caroline share a wonderful and heartfelt anniversary together with their most beloved children by their side. And the next day, Ash and Norman are scheduled to have their long-awaited battle finally come to its conclusion at the Petalburg gym. May is unsure which side to cheer for, but for Max, he's totally on his dad's side. Normally, Norman doesn't let his family watch his battles, cause that'll break his focus, but this battle with Ash is the exception, as his children are great friends with the challenger. On the sidelines, May expresses her excitement to show how this battle turns out, but Max is offended by this, insinuating that May thinks that their dad's got a chance of losing.
Relax, no one said your dad's gonna lose.
Max defends his dad even more, saying that people are saying he's so strong that he's gonna soon become a member of the Elite Four. Brock and Caroline encourage Max to relax, and that this is the first time seeing his dad's gym battle, so maybe he should loosen up and enjoy the battle instead. Throughout the battle, Max would get hyped every time his dad is winning, but when Ash takes the upper hand, Max begins to get worried. And when Ash has finally defeated Norman in their gym battle, Max is furious. Right as Norman hands Ash the balance badge, Max takes it and runs away. Max is frustrated seeing his dad lose. Witnessing his lifelong hero lose a fight truly shattered a part of Max's little heart. May and Brock try to console him and reason out with him, but he shuts them all down. But then Norman steps up and yells that losing is a part of being a gym leader, that defeat would be a wise teacher. And more so, this gym battle allowed Ash and Grova to find strength they never thought they had. Ash even proposes that Max could keep the badge and that he's already content of having their awesome battle experience with Norman. But their words get through Max's heart as he opens up the door having his tears wiped. He tells his dad that one day when he becomes a trainer, they'll battle each other. Max then apologizes to Ash and gives him his well-deserved balance badge. This whole battle allows Max not only appreciate the idea of losing a battle, but also develop a more mature perspective of his dad, seeing him as a more multifaceted way, accepting his weaknesses, while still holding on to the strength that makes Norman his true hero. From one hero to the next, it doesn't take long until Max finally meets his favorite professor, Professor Oak. Sorry, Birch. What once was just his TV screen is now in front of him. With Ash and Brock away, Max and May spend the day together with Professor Oak, where Max enjoys his time playing and bonding with Professor Birch's Hoenn starters, as well as the Kanto starters that Professor Oak brought to Hoenn. Then when Team Rocket strikes and captures the 6 starter Pokemon and have them trapped in the middle of a cave, it's Max who saves the day. He manages to escape through the grills and single-handedly commands all 6 starter Pokemon the specific attacks needed to have them escape from the cage. He soon rescues Max and Professor Oak, and together they all blast Team Rocket off. Max has learned so much from Professor Oak in this experience, he even correctly answers one of his questions.
Which of these Pokémon can utilize a tackle attack?
Squirtle and Bulbasaur and Mudkip can.
But most of all, Max is able to instruct Pokemon to use attacks despite not being a trainer. This shows that Max truly has a bright future ahead of him as an aspiring Pokemon trainer. Well, the near future isn't that bright, as one rainy day our heroes find shelter in a mysterious mansion in the middle of nowhere. Max and May blame each other for getting themselves lost in their journey. This argument escalates to May saying that she doesn't need a know-it-all brother, and Max saying that he hates May. Max runs away from the group only to get lost somewhere in the mansion, but he's not totally lost because he befriends a wandering Shuppet. Together they travel around the mansion, playing in the playground, and even overhears May saying something that gives him the impression that she doesn't care for him. Max and Shuppet then try to play pranks on them, and after they hear that this mansion is said to be filled with strange phenomena, May starts to get worried for Max's safety, so she calls on Torchic to find Max. As Torchic tries to find Max, Team Rocket appears, courting the little chick. Max sees this, and at first he doesn't care at all, but remembering the times May cared for him and how much she loves her Torchic, Max steps in to defend Torchic just in time for May to arrive. There she faces Team Rocket and says that Max is the only brother she's got and that she loves him, to which Max responds by saying, "I love you." Max and May make up, and with the help of Shuppet they stop Team Rocket on their tracks, and the sibling bond only goes stronger from here on out. Their sibling bond only becomes stronger once they meet another pair of siblings in Liza and Tate. Like May and Max, Liza and Tate are also siblings that had an older sister and younger brother dynamic, so they instantly get each other. Max and Tate instantly click as little brothers share the same interests such as technology and space. They sneak into the space shuttle simulator, but Team Rocket soon hijacks it, traps them both, and launches the shuttle for real. Good thing Ash's Corphish manages to secretly get in without Team Rocket noticing, allowing both of them to escape from the ties that bind them. Tate's Solrock deals with Team Rocket, and while they're knocked out, Max and Tate land the shuttle safely and successfully. And as they touch down, May and Liza give Team Rocket a taste of big sisterly love and send them blasting off like the shuttle they hijacked.
Nobody messes with my little brother.
Now it's finally time for Max to meet what perhaps is his soulmate Pokemon, the one that could very much be his first partner once he begins his journey as a Pokemon trainer. As our heroes are waiting for Brock to cook their lunch in the middle of the forest, Max feels something out of the blue, or rather, he hears something. It's like something is calling him, perhaps asking for help. Whatever it is, Max dashes through the forest, so fast like his life depends on it. It's like some energy is calling him to run to the right place at the right time, and when he reaches the lakeside, his eyes lay on an injured Ralts, clearly in need of help. So he brings the poor Ralts back to his friends, takes care of it, and gives it some food. The whole day Max would carry Ralts on his back on the way to the nearest Pokemon Center, doing his best to protect it from the harm and danger such as Team Rocket. And when its fever grows worse, Max gathers some berries to help alleviate the sickness. Team Rocket attempts to catch Ralts multiple times, but every single time they manage to escape. Soon Ralts' family shows up. Max explains to them that Ralts needs immediate treatment at the Pokemon Center, and at first Gardevoir and Curlia don't believe him. But when an incoming attack is sent Max's way, Ralts defends him, signaling to Gardevoir and Curlia that Max is a friend, so they let him rush the little one to the Pokemon Center. Max soon reaches the place, and Ralts is given immediate treatment. Max waits outside, worried, as his sister gives him a warm and comforting hug. And soon later, Nurse Joy tells the good news that Ralts is gonna be fine. And as much as he doesn't want to part with Ralts, Max knows it's best if it stays with Gardevoir and Curlia. No, not this Gardevoir and Curlia. Max calls Ralts out to blast Team Rocket off his sidekick, and soon the real Gardevoir and Curlia show up. With that, he makes the most difficult decision of his life, and that is to let Ralts go. With a heavy heart, Ralts clings onto Max one final time. The little one doesn't want to let him go, but Max has no other choice. So he promises Ralts that once he grows older and officially becomes a Pokemon trainer, they're gonna reunite and travel together. And so Ralts teleports along with Gardevoir and Curlia, looking forward to Max's promise of coming back to become its trainer.
Promise me, Max. Promise you'll come back and get me.
Now that Max is still too young to become a trainer, he enjoys every adventure he spends with his friends, as he cheers on Ash throughout the Hoenn League, pulls Brock's ear whenever he flirts with a girl, and supports May on all her contests. Except for that one time where Max was manipulated by Harley to spill an embarrassing moment of May in her childhood, which Harley managed to play in the contest in an attempt to sabotage her confidence.
She thought my sister was a tentacle and actually tried to catch her.
But good thing May managed to pull herself together, saving Max from a potential scolding from his sister. But all adventures lead to an end, all roads lead to a fork, and when the Hoenn Grand Festival and League Conference are over, Max and May soon have to part ways with Ash and Brock. They return back to Petalburg City, but not long after, Ash hears a honk outside of his house in Palatown. He opens the door and sees Max. He's brought here by Professor Birch, perhaps to feed his curiosity about Kanto Pokemon. Max excitedly visits Professor Oak, where he observes Tracy feed the Pokemon and make a sketch of them. He even compliments Tracy's artistic skills and saying that he thinks he's amazing. Max then does the honor of returning the starter Pokemon to their Pokeballs, but he starts by returning Bulbasaur and Charmander, leaving Squirtle alone and scared. Squirtle freaks out as Max tries to chase it, only for the tiny turtle to land on the arms of May, who also happens to be visiting. At tea time, Ash opens up about his aim of traveling around Kanto to participate in the Battle Frontier, which May is excited to hear because she wants to participate in the Kanto Grand Festival. And so Ash, May, Brock, and Max embark on a whole new journey together around the Kanto region. Misty tags along for a little bit since they're all headed the same way. On their way to the first battle facility, our heroes are again troubled by Team Rocket. However, an explosion causes both Max, May, and Pikachu to get blasted away. May initially tries to grab Max's hand, but she fails, causing them to fall into the river and resurface who knows where. As they're doing their best to reunite with their friends, Max and Misty get to know each other more. While doing so, they face one obstacle after another, each one being more inconvenient than the last, until they shelter themselves in a cave. Here, Max opens up about he believes May would have easily won her contest if she just listened to his advice more. Max thinks that May thinks that she's just his little brother, then she can just ignore whatever he says. Misty relates to this, being the youngest of her siblings herself, but Misty says that as troubling as her sisters can be, she can't imagine her life without them. She believes that Max feels the same way too, which he does. They talk more about their siblings until they come to a conclusion that they just have to keep on helping their sisters even if they don't think they need your help. Max and Misty are soon reunited with the others, and as another Team Rocket disaster causes Max to be blasted away, May is finally able to grab hold of Max's hand, saving him from danger. Misty soon leaves the group, but thanks to her, Max has a newfound appreciation and perspective of May, which will only strengthen their bond even further. As our heroes continue their journey throughout Kanto, something strange begins to occur. An aurora opens up out of nowhere, Pokemon start acting weird, Pokeballs won't open, and even the Pokénav shuts down. And of course, Max is the first to realize that something's off. When a Pokemon ranger named Solana explains that there are geomagnetic disturbances, things only get more serious when a mysterious Pokemon appears, Deoxys. And out of everyone there, it's Max who locks eyes with it, almost like it's trying to communicate with him. Despite being told to stay behind, Max follows the group into the cave where they find the meteorite connected to Deoxys. While everyone else is just busy battling or trying to capture it, Max notices something different. Deoxys isn't just attacking, it's in pain. And when Deoxys suddenly takes Max and Meowth into another dimension, this is where Max truly shines. Through Meowth translating, Deoxys revealed that it came from space, alone and scared, trapped in a meteorite with no one to talk to. And Max, understanding this loneliness, reassures Deoxys that it doesn't have to be alone anymore. Back in the real world, the meteorite's energy goes out of control, making Deoxys suffer even more. But in the end, it's not just battling that saves the day, it's understanding. With Solana's help, Deoxys is finally healed, and before it leaves, it thanks Max for listening. And just like that, Max once again proves that even without a Pokemon of his own, he has what it takes to connect with them, and in a way, not many people can. May and Ash soon reach the conclusion of their adventures in the Kanto Grand Festival and Battle Pyramid. One might think that since these four lovable heroes wouldn't mind saying goodbye once more, after they already did it in Hoenn. But for Max, this one hits different. After Ash and May win their half ribbon in the terracotta contest, Max shares his last meal with the four of them together. During this last supper, May opens up although she's had the best time with them, she feels that the next step is for her to travel alone without Ash, Brock, and Max to learn more about contests and Pokemon. She knows that if Max is with her, she'll only depend so much on him, so she decides to take her journey to another level by journeying alone. This saddens Max deeply that he walks away from them, so Ash approaches him and has a talk with him. Here, Max reveals that he's jealous of May, that she could do all these sorts of fun stuff as a Pokemon trainer. He wishes that he could grow up quick so he could experience what a true Pokemon battling feels like. But Ash reassures Max that once he becomes a Pokemon trainer, they'll battle each other. This cheers Max up, turning his sadness of being young to excitement for the future as he awaits the day he finally gets to battle with Ash. Max and May soon board the ship back to Hoenn, and as their stomachs grow hungry, they decide to feast on Brock's lovingly made lunchbox for them. Max returns to Petalburg City, where he takes on the role of being a helper in the Petalburg gym. Here he takes good care of all the Pokemon using all the knowledge and skills he learned from Brock. And whenever May or Ash participate in a prestigious tournament, Max makes sure to never miss a second watching them on the TV screen. Max started off as a super fan of Pokemon battles, but his time in the Advanced Generation series has allowed him to experience all sorts of adventures, witnessing countless battles, and overcome limited obstacles, developing his character from an annoying spoiled brat to a refined young prodigy. His adventures with May, Ash, and Brock has shaped a wonderful child for him, and we know that once he officially becomes a Pokemon trainer, he's someone who's going to excel at whatever path he decides to take. I don't know about you, but I would be stoked to see Pokemon do a time skip where Max finally ages and begins his adventures as a Pokemon trainer. Ralts is waiting, and so am I. Thanks so much for watching Max's complete history. Some people loathe him, but some people also have grown to adore him. Which side are you on? Also, let me know down below your favorite Max moment. But as always, it's been your boy Luap, and I'm out. Peace.